Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top Pat McGrath makeup products that are 100% worth the splurge. I'm not only going to be telling you guys what these products are, but I'll also be applying them to my face. So we'll be doing this makeup look while I show you guys all of my favorite Pat McGrath products. This is the best time to shop the Pat McGrath website during the springtime because she's currently having an amazing sale. Everything on the Pat McGrath website right now is 25% off, which is an amazing deal. But if you spend over $150, you get 30% off, which is an even more incredible deal. So definitely make sure that you shop the sale while it lasts. I don't know when the sale ends. I feel like she just kind of like will announce it. Today is the last day of the sale and I usually let you guys know when that happens. But since we don't know when the sale is going to end, we better take advantage of it while it's lasting. So everything that I talk about in this video is of course linked down in the description box. So if you guys need to buy anything, if you've been eyeing anything, then make sure you go down to those links and shop the sale. If you guys like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. And also if you're new here, my name is Patty. I would love it if you were here to stay, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. We have so many amazing goodies that I want to talk about in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite Pat McGrath products is the Pat McGrath concealer. This concealer is super creamy, hydrating, full coverage, everything you would wish for in a concealer and more. Very long lasting. I have had this one since it came out, which was probably about a year ago, and I definitely see that I have this much left in it, and as soon as I finish it, I will be sure to buy some more of it because I absolutely love the way this concealer covers everything. I'm just kind of like spot concealing now with it because I have some things I don't want to see when I put the foundation on top. And the Pat McGrath foundation is definitely something that I fell in love with the moment I tried it. I have a review video on this one when it first came out, and I remember being so surprised at how amazing this foundation was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of little squirts right there. And with my sponge, I'm just going to blend it all in. I did not blend my concealer underneath it because I wanted it to cover and not move. So once you blend the foundation over top, you have a little bit of extra coverage in those spots that I marked. So the reason I love the Pat McGrath foundation is that it has a beautiful medium coverage and it looks like skin. This foundation, when you blend it into your skin, it doesn't look thick, it doesn't look makeup-y. It looks like really beautiful, glowy, hydrated skin, and that is my favorite type of makeup to wear. I remember complaining at the beginning when I first did my review that this foundation was a little bit like overpriced because I was used to foundations that were $40 to $45 and this one is $68. However, now that I've had it for a little bit over a year, also used a lot of this one. I don't know how much I have left of it, but I think it's definitely worth it. I've definitely used it sparingly because I always leave it for the days where I want my skin to look flawless and for it to be my skin looking flawless and not my makeup looking flawless. There's a difference. So anyways, I absolutely love the way that this foundation performs. And you guys can see like it looks very skin-like. I get people ask me all the time, hey, the Pat McGrath foundation, I've been considering it. Do you still like it? The answer is absolutely 100%. Yes, I love it. I think this foundation and concealer pair amazingly because, see, the foundation has light enough coverage that I could still see my freckles through my skin. Again, looks very nice and natural. However, when I need something covered, like that ugly pimple I have on my chin, I put a little bit of concealer on and it gets the job done because the concealer is really nice and full coverage. So that's why I think these two are products that are definitely worth getting from Pat McGrath. Let me go ahead and blend my concealer out and we'll get to the next product that I'm obsessed with. Now that my concealer is blended out, the next step is for me to set. And I have been obsessed with the under eye setting powder from Pat McGrath also. since it came out. I believe this one came out at the same time as the concealer did. Like I said, I have like this much concealer left in here, and this I have fully bought another one since. I used the first one completely, not a drop of powder left in it, and it's because this powder is the absolute best, not just at setting my under eyes, which it's fantastic at setting my under eyes, obviously I love it, but also I just set the whole entire center of my face with it, and this is the only powder that I have to use. Look at how different the sides of my face look right now. This one still looks nice and shiny right here on the cheek, but this one has been set with that translucent powder, and it looks more mattified, but also it makes my pores look smaller, and it blurred my under eye area. This powder is incredible, and it's the best powder I've ever had to set my face with. Okay, my face is set and we are looking flawless. Let me show you up close and personal what this trio makes my skin look like, because it is just chef's kiss, my favorite combination for my skin ever. Okay, check it out. Really nice, really natural, not cakey. I love it. Now, Mother Pat has yet to delight us with bronzers and blushes. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and do some bronzer and blush, and I'll be right back and we'll continue to talk about the rest of my favorite must-haves from Pat McGrath. Back with a little bit of bronzer and blush, and I do want to talk about the Pat McGrath highlighter. This one right here specifically, this is the only one I have because the one that she came out with before this one looked like it was going to be too dark for me, so I never bought it, and then reviews came out and people weren't super impressed with that one. However, everybody, including myself, really liked this one. So this here is the Divine Rose highlighter. Since owning this one, I've definitely realized that I'd like to apply it better with a smaller brush rather than a larger brush. When I first got it, I was not super impressed with it because I was putting it on with a larger brush and it wasn't melting into my skin the way that I wanted it to. However, now when I put it on with a smaller brush, this is my REPHR number 16, I really like the way it looks. I feel like it's probably because I'm able to buff it into my skin a little more, and so it makes it look a little bit more natural and it doesn't give my skin any texture, which when I first tried it was the thing that made me say I'm not sure about it, because it made my skin look like it had a little texture. So if you have it and you haven't found a favorite way to apply it, I definitely recommend a smaller brush for this one because I think it makes all of the difference. Highlighter is on and my complexion is finished, and the next step has to be eyeshadow, and I am obsessed with Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. They are my favorite thing to get from the line, my favorite palettes in my collection. 100% recommend them. For the longest time, I saw people raving about this palette and I was in my corner being like, nobody needs a $100 palette, nobody needs a $125 palette. And the moment I tried my first Pat McGrath palette, I was hooked. And I am now 5 Mothership palettes in, and I have the Celestial Divinity palette, and I have 3 of her quads as well. So just know that that might happen if you try one, okay? From the Mothership palettes, I have Mothership number 1, which I love. I have a 5 looks with that one on my channel, so if this is like the vibe that you like, if you like the cool tones and the blues, definitely get that one. I have Motherships 7 and 8, which I feel like are the most popular Mothership palettes. Here are my looks with Mothership number 7. And then here are my looks with Mothership number 8. I feel like Mothership number 7 has more of like a nudie pinky type of vibe. It's the one that I like the most to like use on a regular basis because it's not like in your face all the time, and I feel like the rest of them are in your face all the time, which personally, nothing against them. Again, they're my favorite palettes in my collection. I love to be glam, right? And then Mothership number 8 is like a little bit darker and sultrier and more of a nighttime vibe. Also love that one. The first Mothership I ever bought is Mothership number 5, which again, I've also done looks with that one. And that one is more of that warm tone vibe. And it's definitely to this day one of my favorite palettes and what made me fall in love with Pat McGrath eyeshadows, right? Now, in this video, we're going to play with this one because this one is newer to my collection. This is my newest addition. This is the Midnight Sun palette. When I did my rankings video, which I have a Pat McGrath palette rankings video, and I'll link it below if you are unsure on like which one to try best. Maybe that video can help you. A lot of people said the next palette you need is the Midnight Sun, and of course I listened to you guys because why wouldn't I? You guys are wise. So I bought the Midnight Sun palette and we're going to use it for the first time today. I am so excited. So the first color I'm going to use is this one here because we're going to use it as our transition shade. And one thing I've learned about Pat McGrath eyeshadows is I rather tap them in first, build up the intensity because they all have a really nice intensity, and then go back and blend them out. I used to apply these the way that I apply most eyeshadows, which is just straight in, do windshield wiper motions, but these palettes have a different level of pigmentation. These palettes are very nice and pigmented, so when you do that, they sometimes look a little bit on the patchy side. However, when you first go in and build that color, then it takes you like 2 seconds to diffuse it and you have a perfectly blended eyeshadow. That little blending step I did not edit, you guys, so I put it on, I was talking, I blended it out, and it looked really nice. I do sometimes hear people say I bought a Mothership palette and I was not impressed, and I feel like when I first had my first Mothership palette, it was a little bit of a learning curve for me too, because I was used to applying eyeshadows differently, and I feel like with these, definitely you have to build up that shade a little bit first and then just blend out the edges, and again, perfectly blended, no patchiness, nothing. It's just not as powdery as other eyeshadows are. I feel like powdery eyeshadows are a little bit easier to blend doing windshield wiper motions because they have a lot more, you know, powder fill-in that will help move the pigment around. These are so pigmented that it's just best to first kind of place them and then blend around where your placement is. This transition color, by the way, is so pretty. This is my first time playing with this palette. I haven't played off camera or anything. I'm going to do this reddish shadow next. And again, I'm just going to place it first. So this is where I want it, right here, right? And now we're going to blend it. So just back and forth with that fluffy brush, diffuse your edges. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to use this shadow right here. Look at how pretty that is. And I'm going to put it right here over the edge of where I darkened up my eye. Right there. Look at how wet these look. This is what I love about these shadows. You guys just saw I just went in, barely tapped my finger in it, and look at how much pigment this has. Look at how shiny and just beautiful it looks. It is witchcraft. It is so incredible. The best palettes for sure. So I only did a tiny bit of that color because I know I'm going to love this color here. This is like a mirror. It is incredible. So that is the color I want on my eyelid today. Oh yeah. I have no words. This is so stunning. I grabbed some more of that same color with a brush and I'm just cleaning up my edges with it. Let me do my under eye. So I'm going to do the same red shade, of course, and I'm going to blend it underneath my lower lash line. Just back and forth. I'm using a REPHR number 13 brush. And then this color here to blend that one out a little bit, just to have the same vibe we have on the top of the eye. Just to try it out, I really kind of want to leave it here, but I'm going to just do a little bit of this one, tiny bit, with the fluffiest tiny brush. This is the REPHR number 14. And I'm just going to lightly run it over the outer corner of the eye to build a little bit more intensity. Look at that. See, just a little bit darker. So beautiful. And last but not least, I'm going to use this color as my highlighter right here on the inner corner. Okay, that shade is an incredible highlighter. I love it. Okay, so this is the eye look before eyeliner and mascara, and any of the big size Mothership palettes I absolutely love. All of the ones that I have are my favorite palettes. You can watch my rankings video, which again I'll link down below if you want to see which ones are at the top of my list. When I did that video, I did not have this palette that I just used, so also take this one into consideration. But Pat McGrath palettes are my favorite, and the big Mothership palettes specifically I think are the best because they have these wet looking astral shade formulas that just are a game changer. The other palette you can consider if you don't want to spend $125 on a palette is this one here. This one is the Celestial Divinity palette that came out during the holiday season, and it has a lot of Pat McGrath shades for $78, I think it was. You are not getting Astro Blitz shades, like these super wet looking ones. You're not getting any of those here, but you are getting duochrome shades that are also spectacular from Pat McGrath, and 3 matte shades. Some of my favorite ones in this one, just so that you can see that you're still getting a lot of shine, are these 3. And you can see that they're super shiny, but not quite as shiny as the Blitz Astral shades. However, if you don't want to spend the $125 and you want to get a lot of shades that you can create a lot of looks with, then I do recommend that you get this palette as well, and it's also a little bit more travel friendly, so that's another positive about this one. Now that we're done with the palettes, I went ahead and did a little bit of waterline eyeliner, and the next product that, again, love at first impressions, I fell head over heels for, is the Dark Star mascara from Pat McGrath. I never liked the mascara she came out with originally. That one I was never a fan of because to me it was very messy and it made my lashes really nice and thick, but it didn't give me as much volume as I wanted to, and it kind of clumped them together a little bit. That one I was never a fan of. However, the Dark Star mascara is incredible. It has that perfect hourglass shaped wand that I love, and this one built up your lashes so amazingly. I definitely think I need to actually get myself a new one of this because my one is kind of dry. Okay, mascara is on, and here is why this mascara is my favorite mascara in my collection. Even though it's old, it's dry. Like, I definitely had to build it up today because I need a new one. Every single little hair is coated, it's lengthened, it's thickened, and it's separated. I love this mascara look. This is my favorite. I feel like there's other mascaras where I could get my lashes to be very thick and long, but it's like clumps of lashes, and I hate that. This wispy type of lash look is my absolute favorite, and it's what this mascara gives me, so that is why I love it so much. We are almost done, and for lip products I have 3 things to mention that Mother Pat does so beautifully. First of all, lip liners. I love Pat McGrath lip liners. A couple of my favorite ones are the Done Undone lip liner for a true nude liner look, and for a little bit of a step up from a nude, it's still a nude, it's just like a darker nude, the Structure lip liner. Let me swatch them both for you so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So those are Done Undone and Structure. So Done Undone is that very light pinky nudie shade, and Structure is like a very light brown shade. Absolutely love both of these, and these lip liners are very creamy, very easy to apply, and also very long lasting, so what's not to love, right? They are a little pricey, so this is definitely the best time to get them if Pat McGrath is having a sale. The second thing that I love from the line is this lip formula right here. These are called the Lip Fetish Divinal Lip Shine, and specifically this shade because I have another shade of these and I'm not as impressed. I do like my nudes, okay? So this one here is called Nude Venus, and even without a lip liner, which I do prefer with a lip liner, but even without, it is such a beautiful lipstick because it's kind of like a balmy formula but with a little bit of color. So this is without a lip liner. You can see it gives my lips hydration, it gives my lips shine, and it also gave them that really nice nudie pinky look that I'm a huge fan of. Now I put it without a lip liner because we are going to put on lip liner and gloss. So gloss is something else that I absolutely love from Pat McGrath. These here are my 3 favorite shades. I have Love Potion, which is a true nude gloss shade. Check it out right here. It has a little bit of a hint of pink. Sunset Rose, which is the newest one to my collection, is a very pretty mauvey, deeper rose type of tone. And then this was actually the first one I ever got, and it is my favorite one still. It's Prima Donna, and it's a very light pink lip gloss. And it's a true pink tone gloss, but it looks so beautiful, especially layered with this lip liner right over here, the Dawn on Dawn lip liner. These two paired together is a match made in heaven. Now, I wish I was going to do that lip combo, but I don't feel like it's the best one with what I'm wearing on my eyes today. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my Structure lip liner with the Sunset Rose lip gloss. Okay, so this is the Structure lip liner, and you can fill it all the way in and use it as a lipstick, and that looks good too. And I'm going to do Sunset Rose on top. I really love that these glosses have this amount of shine and juiciness to them without being sticky. Like, these are not sticky at all, and I think that is why I love these. I feel like a year ago I hated glosses, and now I've discovered a bunch of glosses that are not sticky and they make my lips look really nice and juicy, and I love them. And this right here is definitely my favorite gloss formula, so this is also something that Pat McGrath does amazingly well, and it's definitely worth the splurge. Okay, so this right here is the final look with all of the Pat McGrath products that I am convinced are worth the splurge. All of the Pat McGrath products that I know if you guys invest in them, you're going to absolutely love them. I am 100% sure of it, okay? And I obviously love the way that this came out because I'm using products that are absolute staples in my routine, in my collection, and that I know I'm definitely going to get an amazing result with. Everything I talked about in this video is going to be linked down in the description box. Whenever you shop through the links down there, you are supporting my channel, so of course I definitely really appreciate it if you use my links. This is definitely the best time to buy Pat McGrath products. I feel like she's now doing this sale twice a year, during the fall and during the spring. So if you've had your eye on any Pat McGrath products, or if you need to restock on any of your Pat McGrath favorites, this is definitely the time to do it, because if you spend $150 you get 30% off, which is an incredible deal, and if you spend less than $150 you still get 25% off. So definitely make sure that you take advantage of the sale while it's lasting. Besides that, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had a lot of fun using all of my favorite products to show you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, my name is Patty, and I would definitely love it that you subscribe before you leave. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!